So, obviously, it is now summertime. It is time to binge watch shows, old shows, new shows, and a show that I recently got to watch for the second time in a row, the Amazon original series, Invincible. Now, if you're not familiar with Invincible, don't worry. Pretty much the show is based off of a 2003 comic book series run that was made in a while, and it was kind of interpreted from both DC and Marvel, which is really cool. And so pretty much the show is pretty much kind of their own interpretation of the series, which is really great. And so that way, if you did end up reading the comics, it's a bit different, which I do like. So before we get started, guys, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, ring the notification bell, guys. And with that being said, let's get right to it. So when Invincible came out, I did really enjoy it. I enjoyed the series, but I didn't love it. I didn't think it was the most greatest show out there. But with my time being gone for 2 weeks, I ended up getting to watch Invincible once again. And I gotta say, I would probably list it as the top 5, probably within the top 10 animated shows within the decade, honestly. Obviously 2020 was the kind of the end of the decade, but you get what I mean. Between 2000 and 2021, I would say this was the best animated, probably one of the most best animated shows. I'll probably list it in like the top 6, top 5, within like top 6 or top, like the 5th or 6th place within the top 10. And that's how good this show is to me. Now, obviously, when Invincible came out, we just finished wrapping up WandaVision. Falcon and Winter Soldier just started up, and Netflix launched the Jupiter Legacy series, which I haven't gotten a chance to watch yet because I do not have Netflix. But when it comes to the superhero genre, obviously a lot of people want something different. They want something outside of the box and something that Marvel and DC cannot do. Because with Marvel being owned by Disney and DC with people from critics and fans saying that they're just too dark. And that's where Amazon comes into play when the superhero genre, because they could go as dark as they want. They could go as kiddish as they want. And when it comes to Invincible, you pretty much get that. You get the kid. You get the dark sense of the show because you are following a high school teenager, which is obviously another kind of interpretation of the Peter Parker Spider-Man storyline. But instead, it's Spider-Man who's the son of freaking Superman, who lives in the DC universe. So it's kind of in that sense, but it works out so great. So what else about the show to where I say that the show is probably one of the best shows out there when it comes to the superhero genre? And honestly, I probably just gotta say it's probably the character of Mark Grayson and the world building that they were able to do across with 8 episodes, if I recall. And the fact that they took so much inspiration from the Justice League, which I love, because the fact when this show launched, Zack Snyder's Justice League just came out, so I was like, yes, we get another superhero-related series, streaming series, and not in a film. Which honestly, I could say that this would be if the Amazon were to release this as a film, I think it would be a pretty awesome film. But with the main character of Mark Grayson pretty much being the Spider-Man and son of Superman scenario within this story, Mark Grayson, I gotta say, is probably one of the most relatable characters in the entire show. He's a high school student. He's not popular. He's the son of a superhero who Mark Grayson has always wanted to be a superhero. That's all he's ever wanted. He even tells his father straight up, and even tells him to punch him because he can take it now. He was shocked and scared when he was punched the first time, but now he can take it because he's telling his father to, and that this is all he's ever wanted, was to be a superhero, which I really like. Within pretty much the first and second episode is pretty much Mark's story and becoming the character known as Invincible, which I really do like. Now, when it comes to the character of Omni-Man and all the other side characters, I gotta say, they're pretty great. I'm not a fan of the character Rex, nor Mark Grayson's girlfriend. I don't remember her name because I don't care. I don't remember his best friend's name because I don't really care about him. at all. At least I'm kind of glad they added a best friend to be like, hey, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. And Mark Grayson could just kind of like talk to him and everything, but also Mark's been kind of a crappy friend ever since he became a superhero, and as well as a crappy boyfriend. But honestly, it does a really great job with that character. It obviously does something that Spider-Man hasn't done in a long time, is to actually, I don't even think at all, with trying to be a good boyfriend, trying to be a best friend, and trying to be a superhero, trying to get involved with school and everything. And I think that's what Spider-Man No Way Home is going to involve, but sadly that doesn't seem the case, with it basically being a Sinister Six multiverse film, from what it sounds like. But anyway, but all the other side characters, I gotta say, are really great. Omni-Man, I really like the character, and I love how the fact that the creators and the writers and even the director were trying to make Omni-Man seem such a nice guy, and to where he wouldn't do this. Even the Justice League of this series, of this universe, even said that he wouldn't do it. He must be mind controlled, but they decide to choose them over him because they would rather live and see him die, because Omni-Man is the most powerful character within the Invincible universe, and that's something that I really liked, even to the final episode, which was absolutely brutal. I was shocked. My mouth was dropped all the way open when I saw how brutal it was. I think I had kept my mouth open the entire time watching the final episode, just because of how brutal and how gut-punching and how shocking it was. Even though we knew it was coming eventually, it was just so surprising, so shocking, and such a gut punch to realize that Omni-Man is really a bad guy. He's not a good man. He's completely bad. And now the thing is, now I know the show isn't perfect. It's not great. Obviously, the girlfriend is a huge problem. I don't like the character of Rex. But the only thing else that I don't like about the show is that at the point where Omni-Man is beating up his son, pretty much his son's covered in blood, literally just moments away from dying, until Omni-Man does a flashback to where Mark is younger, playing baseball, and Omni-Man is finally happy for once in his life. Obviously, he is happy. He keeps saying like his mom was a kind of like a pet to him and everything, never really loved her, doesn't love the human race and all that stuff. Obviously, within the show and within the flashback, you can tell that Omni-Man has somewhat of a connection to Earth, even though he is more loyal to the Empire that he serves, which is obviously going to be a follow-up with Season 2. So, anyway guys, that is my review of the Amazon Original Prime series, Invincible. I highly suggest that you go watch the show. I'm going to give it a rating, a 9 out of 10. I think this is a solid show, and I cannot wait to see what they do for Season 2. Now, if you have any suggestions on what to review next when it comes to superhero films, or some sort of older movies that you guys would like me to tackle, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.